Webinars are one of the most effective strategies you can use to grow your business, with some studies saying that the average webinar generates between 500 and 1,000 new leads and converts at 55%. Thinking of creating a webinar in your business? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a webinar from start to finish. Keep watching. Hey Posse, what's up? It's Alex. This week we are getting into the nitty-gritty details of planning and executing a high-converting webinar. Now, you already know that I love marketing, but I especially love webinars. They are one of my favorite tools to use in marketing, and over the years, I have written a lot of webinar scripts for my clients. I have seen firsthand just how effective they can be at bringing in qualified leads and converting those leads into paying customers that buy from you again and again and again. Now, if you love learning marketing as much as I love teaching it and you want to learn more, then you know what to do. Make sure to subscribe to my channel below, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when my next video goes live. Now, when it comes to building a webinar funnel, it's important to first have a general idea of what a webinar's purpose actually is. So a webinar funnel is a marketing strategy that involves attracting leads to sign up, nurturing them through a series of emails, and then converting them into customers through a free and highly valuable webinar, sometimes called an online training, workshop, or masterclass. No matter what it's called, your main goal is to attract as many qualified leads to your free webinar as possible, wow them with crazy good value, then convert them into customers by making a relevant and irresistible offer, plain and simple. But in order to do that, there are some pretty specific steps that you need to take, and I guarantee you that most people completely forget about the last step. So let's get started with the first part of your webinar funnel. Step number 1, define your hook. Yep, just like anything you do in marketing, the very first step you need to take is to identify who your ideal audience is for your webinar, and more specifically, what they actually care about. And if you need help defining your ideal customer, then I have a free customer avatar worksheet that I'll link for you in the description box below. Now, once you know who your ideal audience is, come up with a really juicy hook that will make them think, oh my God, I have to watch this webinar. Now, a hook is exactly what it sounds like. It's a concept or an idea that hooks people's attention and gets them interested in what you have to say or offer. So a good hook will take into account who your target audience is and ultimately what they want, and it will speak directly to those two things. But here's what's really important for you to keep in mind when crafting your hook. Don't just consider what the webinar is about. You want to consider the end game as well. What are you going to be promoting at the end of your webinar? Then reverse engineer your positioning by clearly defining the biggest desires and pain points of your ideal attendees. Remember, the point of your webinar isn't just to get as many people as possible to show up, it's to get as many qualified leads as you can, because ultimately you want them to buy something at the end. You don't want to waste your time or money on resources or people who would never actually buy from you. And that's why it is so important to create a hook that will really resonate with them through every step of your webinar funnel. And that is key to not only ensuring that people show up, but like I said, it'll actually increase their chances of them converting into customers and buying whatever offer you have at the end. All right, so now that you know who your webinar is for and what will get their attention, it's time to move on to the next step of your webinar funnel. And that is step number 2, create a landing page. Yep, you need to build a dedicated landing page where your leads will land to sign up for your webinar. Simple, right? And because your webinar is free, you really don't need to make it that complex or long. You want to make it really quick and easy for people to register. So not a whole lot of copy is needed. All you really need is a really clear and benefit-focused headline that of course uses the hook you came up with in step 1, a compelling breakdown of what the viewers will actually learn on the webinar and make that sound really, really juicy and valuable. You want to make sure to highlight the benefits of attending, and this is where knowing exactly who your ideal audience is and what they really want comes in handy. And of course, then you need a clear call to action that takes the lead to an opt-in form where they can complete the registration by entering their name and email address, and there you have a brand new lead for your webinar, easy peasy. Now, moving on to step number 3, send traffic to your landing page. So once your landing page is ready, you need eyeballs on it, right? And the way in which you do that will really depend on your budget and how you typically connect with your leads and audience. But here are some ideas for you to consider. You can email your current list, which is obviously free, and this is totally low-hanging fruit. Now, while technically these aren't new leads because they're already on your list, they could be attending a webinar that then converts them into paying customers if they haven't purchased before. So don't ignore the leads you already have. Next, you could post on your social media, which again is free. You could post about your upcoming webinar as much as possible on your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your stories, right? Anywhere you can across all of your social channels. Now, this will capture the attention of both your current audience and hopefully bring in some new leads as well. And then lastly, you could run paid ads, which obviously is not free, but if you do have the budget, then running ads is a great way to attract new leads. You can send them to your landing page and then of course, get them to join. Now, you want to make sure your ads are really benefit driven and focus on the big problem or solution that you're going to help your viewers with in your webinar. All right, so now that you've got some new leads registering for your webinar, it is time to move on to the next step. Step number 4, confirmation and reminder emails. So after someone registers for the webinar, you need to immediately send them a confirmation email that thanks them for signing up and provides the access details. Now, this might be like the date and time if it is a live webinar and how the person can actually access the content. Remember, people are busy and they've got like a million things vying for their attention. I know even with the best intentions, I often forget about something that I committed to just like yesterday. So if you're not sending reminder emails, then chances are that your attendance rate will be very, very low. So I always recommend sending out a few reminder emails, of course, one as soon as they sign up, and then depending on how long that window is, you definitely want to send one almost every day, including the day before, another one 30 minutes before your webinar starts, and make sure all of these emails are really short and to the point with all the information they need so it's easy to find. And I also recommend that you test an on-demand video webinar where people can just watch it as soon as they sign up, and then only one email is needed. All right, moving on to step number 5 of your webinar funnel, pre-webinar engagement. Now, I put this separate from the reminder emails because it is so important. Depending on when people sign up for your webinar, it's possible that they won't only forget about your webinar, but they will massively lose excitement about attending. Remember, humans are creatures of instant gratification. So if they have to wait for your webinar, then you really need to keep them excited and engaged. Otherwise, they will very quickly lose interest, and even if you do send them reminder emails, they may no longer be interested enough to attend. So leading up to your webinar, you really want to make sure that you're getting people excited in your reminder emails and maybe even posting on social media along the way, right? Make those emails so valuable and build anticipation by highlighting the benefits of attending. And even better would be to drive engagement with the people who signed up by encouraging them to submit questions that you'll answer live on the webinar. So what's cool is a whopping 92% of webinar attendees want Q&A at the end of your webinar. So asking the people who signed up for your webinar to actually submit questions in advance is a great way to ensure that they not only show up, but that they stay until the very end. So you definitely want to be asking questions and keeping engagement going. All right, so you've got qualified leads, you've got them to sign up, you've reminded them about the webinar, you've gotten them excited about attending, and now it is time to move on to the big event. Step number 6, deliver a high quality webinar. So the last thing you want is for all your hard work to go to waste because you deliver a webinar that is boring or doesn't add any value and it makes people leave in the first few minutes. You need to make sure your webinar delivers great value and most importantly, that it is highly engaging. In fact, well over 50% of webinar attendees say the number one factor in determining whether they stay or leave a webinar is whether the presenter is passionate and engaging. So you want to make sure that you're taking the time to create a webinar that actually accomplishes these things and then show up as your best self. And I do recommend scripting or at least outlining your webinar. Do not wing it completely. Chances are, no matter how well you know your content and offer, you will ramble and you will wander, especially if you're live. It can get a little nerve-wracking and you don't want your customers to lose attention. And I actually have an entire video where I break down exactly how to create an engaging webinar script, and I will link to that at the end of this video for you to watch next. All right, now moving on to step number 7, your webinar follow-up emails. So after the webinar, you want to follow up with your attendees, of course, because the reality is most people will not attend or watch your webinar. So you want to recap why it was so awesome and incentivize them to watch the replay. And of course, you also want to deepen the relationship with the people who did attend and move them further down the sales funnel. So to do that, I recommend you send a thank you email that includes a link to the replay, then maybe another 3 to 5 emails after that to make a special webinar offer, and of course, highlight the benefits of taking the next step with you. Your goal, of course, is to convert your attendees into customers. So these emails should be really benefit heavy, speak to their biggest desires, provide an enticing offer, and ideally include some sort of scarcity or urgency, as long as it's real, to encourage immediate action. These are sales emails at their finest, but to an already engaged audience where awareness is a little bit higher. All right, now moving on to number 8, nurture ongoing relationships. So even if attendees don't convert into immediate customers, even with your follow-up emails, right, then you need to continue to email them to nurture that relationship. And this is the step that most marketers completely forget. But the fact is, many experts now agree that it takes up to 13 touch points to convert a lead. Now, I see even higher than that in my own business, so do not be discouraged if a new lead doesn't convert right away. People want to take the time to get to know you before they commit, so keep engaging with them on a regular basis, provide awesome value, keep your brand messaging consistent, and position yourself as the authority who can help them get to where they want to go. And eventually, they will likely convert into a paying customer or at least join your future webinars. Now, for more help with creating effective marketing campaigns for your business, check out my step-by-step video marketing program, Storm, where you'll get insider strategies, proven and repeatable processes, and customizable marketing blueprints that you can apply immediately in your own business to see amazing results. You'll find a link to that in the description box below, and if you want to learn anything more about marketing, you know what to do. Comment below and let me know. I will see you next week with a brand new video. Until then, I'm Alex. Ciao for now. All right, guys, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to check out the next one from me right here, and you can click right here to get a free gift. In this video, I'm gonna share the exact webinar outline that I use time and time again to create consistent and predictable income for me and my clients. But first, please remember that webinars are personal sales tools and should always be authentic and unique to you and your teaching style. No one knows your audience better than you do. So I've designed this outline to be a loose guide that you can follow to create an event that best represents your brand, niche, and product.